Very sunny. I hope it don't rain. But I'm still working on the garden here of my daughter. And I need to tile the place. I already got the tiles. It's just putting it in. And then I'll have some netting, so the sunlight won't be so hot on this one. I know these trees here, the Indian trees, is giving some shade, but you know, when the sunlight is on the top, it's making the orchids hot. I mean, very hot. So I'd like to buy some netting on that one soon and repot all this. So I might go and get some pots later. It's really enjoyable. I mean, gardening. I did try it before, but Deloy is mostly the one doing on the stump. But now I'm taking over since I know he's not so good at it. And I find it enjoyable. And now that saying that gardening is stress relieving, it is. Looking at the plants growing under your care. So that's my project there. And I'll have a spiral staircase in here so I could get down there even if my daughter's asleep. Then another thing to do. So I've decided now that I have more time at home and I could vlog what's at home, then I'll do my house. Finally finish every room. There's so many until the guest house, but it will keep me occupied for a few years. And also my new projects as well. So I purposely grow this Indian tree to block the noise, because if we want the view, we just go to our guest house. You know, it's not that I'm only limited to this view here, because the whole view can be seen on my guest house. And she found this one from the forest. Another type of Severina. Tatano, kahoy ginilay ni siya?
Dili na siya mutaas, mamuana, rab, minako mga anak.
So this is like another type of Severina. This is 750 and that's 1,200. Because you know, because of the pandemic, it's now called plantdemic. A lot of people is into gardening now. And now the trend is having the rarest plant that you can have. And people search to the forest just getting any rarest plant they can get.
Some more. Now, what's happening is we're getting a little bit of a competition going.
It's Sunday today, and the village people of our village, are going out again for our plant search. As you can see, we're going through the roads of Guba, and then after this one will be the roads of Sirao. I know a few of you likes the ride, although some don't, but since this is more on my quest of doing my gardens from the PPP to my home, you know, there's a lot of garden areas that I want to plant something on. So that's why we regularly go to the hills of the mountains of Cebu to buy plants, because it's more cheaper here, of course. I was looking through the Facebook about plants for sale, and ridiculous price. The ones that I get were like 10-20 pesos. It's like 150. They might have 50, but you know, the 10 peso one, the common Persian, what's it, Persian shield, there's only 20 pesos up here in the hill, and then they're selling like 150 to 200 on Facebook, and you still have to pay the delivery as well. So it does make sense for me to get all my plantation for the gardens around my castle and the BPP here in the mountainside, since I live here nearby. So today, the one that's driving is Old Lito. So we pass by Bungtod. Soon we'll be on Sirao Road. There'll be a line of mahogany trees, but there's a big mango plantation in here. We are now in Barangay Sirao. There's that little bit of rough road here that the government still hasn't fixed. Only like about 500 meters, and then you're back on the concrete road. You can see some nice houses there. Kana bang sagbuta ba? That grass. Mo nagi nindot kaayo gibutang og box. I was telling him, you know that grass that you can see out there, some has made it into a feature in their houses when it was only grass for us here. Lagi. Now you can see the Sirao Gardens. Oh. Yan pa ng hapon. It's still very quiet. And look at all the orchids for sale. It costs a fortune around here. Because it's considered as a tourist spot. So the people are here mostly on the first one. Like I said, we don't buy it here. It's a tourist price. Now we're here in Pungol, Sibugay, where both sides of the road are selling plants. That's why you can see a lot of people from the city in their cars buying plants around here. But like I said, I don't buy it here because it's very expensive. We buy it from the actual farmers further down. See, it's all well laid out, and what they tend to do, they also buy from the further farmers, and they display it here because most of the city dwellers don't want to go further. Look, there's so many people on the side of the road. Look, buying plants. So this place is Pungol, Sibugay. So the Pungol Sibugay Road is part of the Trans Central Highway because when I say the name of the place and then someone will correct me, that's Trans Central Highway. Trans Central Highway is passing through different places, like different barangay. So it is part of the Trans Central Highway because the Trans Central Highway passed through all, like how many barangays, right to the Balamban, Toledo City. And if you someone like asking about if there are Airbnb on these places, there are. You can West Echo 35. No, West Echo 35 to tayo, no?
West 35.
West 35. There's a few Airbnbs around here. If you just do the Google Maps, you can see it there. We're back here in Bioli's garden and I have bought some plants again. Bergunia na. So I bought some plants around her. Badyang tapul. Taga-bukid bet. Daghang kay na dito. Lagi. We have a lot of that purple alocasia. There.
Just 300 palit po ana na adito. May bigo nito lo.
It's too dear because he's buying it around her neighborhood and it's 300 per pot, but it's a forest alocasia. Forest alocasia. So I now have a damage of 1,450. So he got a silver photos here for Old Bees pond, but I could just come back here. I'm just trying to get some. So here we are again. These plants just take out your stress. That's why, like, when I look at them, it feels beautiful. I mean, you ease out your tiredness. So it cost me about 1,500 here, but I got some nice plants that you can see there on the orchids, different stuff. So it's really nice to be here. You can see different species every time you come here. Look at this hanging one. That's 200, but I don't know what kind of plant is this. We are now on our way to Balamban. So you are going up the hills when you're going there. And it's still part of the Cebu protected landscape area. So you can see that these people that live here on the side of the road are actually just living on grants that when the government use it, they have to go. See, there's a sign. Mo na akong ganahan, that kana ba? Kung saan tanong mo?
Anid mo na, ma'am.
Anibong?
Anibong dako na. Bakuno na, kuha ka na.
Oh. Anibo was that plant that I like.
Ang puno ka na niya mo, nahimo o nagkatumutangan na masita sa unang katutang itong nga burang pulos bahi.
Ah, ada anibo
Sapsako
din.
na siya.
Daghan mo ko na dito sa to Sa Lasang.
Kuha na dito ato eh.
Ingon si Glyn na
Ayo, anibong to ato.
Anibo.
Tingnan na rin.
So it's called anibo, that plant, that tree that I like. So I was telling some of the young kids, not really young kids, like 19, 20 years old, farm boys, that if they can find one like that, I'll buy it from them. So they're in the lookout, and they said that there's a lot of them in the mountain area. You know where the forests are, further from us. So hopefully they can find one for me, then they can earn. So you see a lot of plants around this area again. A lot of plant seller before we even reach the Gaas Balamban boundary. We are still on Cebu City. So this is still the Barangay Cantipla, and next to this it will be the Barangay Gaas towards of Balamban. So there's a lot of people here that stop by and have their picnic. So the fog is coming up on the mountain. Old Lito was telling me that when you're going downhill, driving manually, you have to put second gear. Second gear tayo, no? So you don't have to keep on braking. Because Junel last time was like, I could smell the burning lining. So the technique is that to put it on the second gear, on a driving stick, then you don't have to keep on braking. So that's the hills, and that's the little house there. Jesus. So the fogs are coming in. It's Barangay Inaad. And still there's a lot of plant seller everywhere. Taga diin ara mo check ani diri. Now we are on the boundary of Yes, sir. Go. This is now the boundary of Balamban and Cebu City. There's a checkpoint, but they're checking point more on the agricultural. There you are.
Kung istrito ka na una pag pandemic yan, hindi ka kalapas mo rin.
Because they're checking on the cargoes, because you know the mountainside are known for the five fingers, you know, illegal lumber, and they're also, since pandemic, they're taking advantage of it. So that's one thing that they check here. So we will be looking at plants here. These are the usual cheap ones that we buy it from. This one is called Sabrina, and this one will grow up to very tall, like taller than man, because there's some of these species are giant. And she found this one from the forest, another type of Sabrina. Tatano kahoy gini din siya.
Dili na siya mo taas, mamuana, rab, minako, mga anak.
So this is like another type of Sabrina. This is 750 and that's 1,200. Because because of the pandemic, it's now called plantdemic. A lot of people is into gardening now. And now the trend is having the rarest plant that you can have. And people search to the forest just getting any rarest plant they can get. So there's when there is congregation of people, you expect all the karaoke. Oh, dara ay. Dara mamay, dako kaila ha. Sabrina. So those are plant buyers as well. So what you do is you just slowly go down the road and select all the plants from the roadside. There's the other plants. Pila na? Kani? And pa, I'll get some of these because I haven't had any of these. So this is, look at these flowers here. I had one but it's just newly growing one.
Nabuhi na tong imo mo.
Oh, murag inana. Nabuhi na to kay wa man namatay. So, here. So the big plants are quite dear, especially if it's rare. This one is Monstera Blue. 3,500. Kani pila ni? 1,000 for that. Orchids ba na siya? Pilking orchids, 1,000.
Ako yung tatong yellow, kay nahali na gud 2.5. Dako to ana.
We are now going back. It's raining here in Balamban, but there's no signal over here because of the rain. So you can see people like living on the side of the hill just to get the view. Although this is the protected area, so nobody can own this except the government. So people are just having a use of the land.
Daga na kay kuwaya na dito ubos.
So the clouds have started to go away again, and we can see the blue clouds up ahead. Narita na din ang unong mga on. Dili man din ang unong ato. Sayo ra magani sa panalit man. Baditikan yun magunan adugay na kay media. Check amo ni kuha kay wa tawo. So this is our picnic area as last time, and you can see the view from here. The city is covered with fog because it's raining here in the mountain and the signal's gone. It will go back when the rain stops. So there's a lot of vendors here still. So nobody owns land around here when it is landscape protected areas. There's like 4 or 5 barangays that are like that, like from Tabunan here in Cantipla. You only got the usage of land. Suya ka ginawa ni sana anak anibong. This is the Cantipla strawberry farm, and you can already see what's inside there, and it's 100 pesos per entry. It's not worth it, I mean, as far as I'm concerned. So these are the congregation of different sidewalk merchants where a lot of riders stop by to eat. So you can see a lot of wild birds of paradise. I see one girl there just picking up the shoots and put it on pots. I think she will sell it. So it's mostly forest around here. Masa ko. So the checkpoint is now more concerned about the cargoes, especially if there's a tip of someone harvesting, you know, the illegal ones. So the cloud starts clearing up here. You can see a lot of congregation of people, but they don't own the land. Hindi sa. It's so blue to look at it up ahead. Where in the city it's not raining, but it's only here in the mountain area. And so these are the views that we can see from here. So there's no rain around this area. Kanay Amigam ng ili. These are beautiful view. Kaya tayo, nainil ka. But there's a lot of congregation of houses around here, so it's quite a noisy neighborhood. And this is like you call Cold Village, they named the place. And now on Chinese bamboo. Tap Tap. So this is what you call the moon area. Buanan in Tap Tap, Barangay Tap Tap. Masa ko na, ay, soft drinks. Here we're passing again on that place where there's orchid for sale per stamp.
Pila-biligyan niya.
Naitag 3.8, naitag 4.5, naitag 5,000. Lagi?
Labo ka to.
So look at the community of mountains. That's when you can say that when you're living in a mountain, you need to shout. When people shout, oh, they live in the mountain, because that's how far is your neighbors. That's the school of Tap Tap. And this is located in Grand Central Highway. So this is another orchid place that you can buy orchids from. This is just on the roadside in Highway Pungol, Sibugay. You can actually see their orchids being displayed around. So this cutting here is 300 pesos. Palita ko usa, ma'am. Kani siya. Ha? Lahi sana siya presyo. Waling-waling ni siya. Pila sana siya? 1,000. 1,000. Kanire 300. Okay. Naa naman ko ani, madam eh. So these are the 300 pesos per cutting. But I said, mong latigo tag pila, ma'am? Mao ba?
Ma'am.
So they're here on the roadside. A lot of this here. All different kinds of orchids, but they have their special collection inside there.
300 man, ma'am? 300.
There, you can buy it by stumps.
May ato mo. Kuan ta ani. Kanang imong tra ay mo kada pala. Kuan ta o. Mabuhay na siya kanang. Kanang yung.
So I just get down to see what's here because we haven't stopped here before. Mahal na lang. Mahal ang orchids.
Kaya dito, ma'am.
Lagi. So, di mo gipalit to there. So you got some vegetable and fruit vendors on the other side.
Lagi.
So we'd like to stop here to check if their prices are better because a lot of people don't bother to stop at them.
Hindi sa pitulo yung bambu.
Nako ano eh?
Ano ka?
Katong last na tong adto. I have that kind of bamboo they're saying is got stripes. That's the one I bought last time.
Ay, imong gipangwana no.
So dito na. So we'll have to look at her nursery. Tanaw mi ma'am ha? Oh, she got loads of potted plants.
Kana bago nang tanom ka ng layo-layo. Patan mo man. Apa dito layo anak mo man.
Nga tanawa.
Nakoy mga San Francisco gitaguan ako na dila.
Tanawa ko no tanaw. Tanaw na to yung mga price. She got San Francisco that he
Para mo sa lang ginakabuk ma'am kay kuha ko. Alag apilang. Uy, ma'am.
Okay.
Kana mo.
Ang pila ni siya.
Pila ko balik ma'am. Kana na lang gid ma'am. Kung ako mother ang nagipalit.
Red.
Isaha ni balik na mo, balik isaha ha.
Anong gitaguan mo ni San Francisco ni mo ma'am?
Ako sa nagipasanay ma'am. Mo sa nang pabalik.
So San Francisco's are very saleable.
Ano niya ko yung kuha ko. Dili balik ha.
Harot-harot naman gipilian na.
Mauba. Imo na ning gipatubo because he said that there's a lot of people's been buying again. This unbelievable for the pandemic because it's now plantdemic. People are planting.
Tung gipalit ni nila.
Katong flower bowl ma'am?
Daray.
Oh, kuha na ma'am.
So we're just walking around here to see some other plants that we don't manage to stop by. I don't. Got loads of plants around here. And someone's building a big house on the side of the hill. So that's what you do is you go and haggle around for the prices of the plant because every seller seems to be trying to lure you to buy, so they lower it down. So this place here is what you called the village of Venom, if it's in English. So it's Kamandagan. Kamandag is Venom in the Tagalog language. So this is the area where you find a lot. So we're walking here in the village of Venom, the Kamandagan village, where there's a lot of flower vendors. Mutana ko na. Hala, tanawan San Francisco. There's a lot of nice plants around here. Oh, ito na. There is a road that collapsed in here. They're still doing it. Tagpila na imong gabi-gabigang.
Wala June, pila
Ah. Tag 200 na.
200. Apa naman kayo yun? Kasod na sa kuha na isa.
Kana. 200 na. I'm looking at here how they done the riprap in a cage where they put rocks, and because the road here has collapsed, this is in the village of Benom, the Kamandagan. So this is what they do. So this is how they collect the rocks and design it in cages and fill it up with rocks. So the government's still working on this side of the road of Kamandagan. So we're just walking here where you can see a lot of plant vendors. So the multi-cab is just ahead of us because we decided to just walk this time so we can see what's available. There, you can see it there on the edge. So we are now leaving the barangay Tap-Tap. There's a Central Cebu Landscape Protected Area. So we are now passing through this frontliners of plant selling, where they both sides of the road are selling plant. Kaya nga mahal kaya sila eh.
Ganun dapit mahal eh. Kato
Kas-
dito, barato to dito. Bili mo nga ng barato to. Tungos kalayo ka.
Oh. Because as locals here, we know that these are expensive around here.
Ngayon lang yan. Kuyan ka na. Mahalan.
500, and then the bamboo in there in Balamban, I buy for 100 pesos. The bamboo is 500 here.
Nalipay kasi sila itong hilahusan nila dito.
At tum sa naman malit day, kanon sila diri.
Okay, ilang hatag mong mahali ha. Dito barato.
Because I was saying that most of the seller that is in Balamban, in the Balamban Road, says that most of the seller here near the Ayala Heights, which is, like I said, more expensive, is buying from them. Because a lot of these plant gardeners don't bother to go further. So it's very hot over here, whereas in the mountain of Balamban, you see that we've been rained on when we were taking our lunch. Because we have just bought food and rice for lunch, because some of the restaurants are not really nice, the cooking. So like this plant grass that you see on the side of the road, I've seen it being planted in a box near a swimming pool of someone's house, and it really looked nice. But you think about it, it's only like weeds for us over here. Wala na. Oh. So there's a checkpoint, but it's mostly for motorcycle. So we are now entering Barangay Sirao. Here we are. I have a view of the city from here and all the farms. This is another side of Guba that we're passing through, and in search for some wild plants. I'm with the village people in our village for the channel of Village People Philippines. So these are the farms. China Telecom Tower, another one there. And there's another one on the other side. So you can see there's a lot of bamboo trees and farms on this side of the block. So you can pass to Sirao Integrated School from this way, 100 meters from here. So it's so funny, we're in Balamban, it's raining hard and it's very hot here. And it's only a few kilometers from here. So in little villages like this, you see a few people displaying potted plants. That saves you from going to the forest in search for it. And sometimes that's the best way to get some wild plants. So you can see them in their garden and under kubo, and they have those potted plants. And then you ask them how much is that one when you see some really rare ones. So these are the view from here. Amazing. So someone's harvesting bamboos. And look at that. So it's mostly farms around here. Kana bugang. That's the grass, the wild grass that looks very nice on someone's house. So it's mostly farms, corn farms.
Likay ko yan, kay taas na baka naglapaw.
Okay. Look at the view here. So in this area, you can find privately owned land, because this is Guba area, not the landscape protected areas. But this is your way, rural road. there. You can see that there are a few houses already being built. Concrete. But you go through narrow roads. There's a concrete house there. Oh, amazing view. So that's how you look at the gardens of some of the kubo, and then you will say that you will buy the plant. So there's a few congregation of houses here. They got their own little chapel. But the thing that is really significant is the very narrow roads. So if you're buying a lot from these places, you should avoid all this congregation because it's very noisy. Dirita? Kami dito, dili.
No, mo tong bahay nito.
Ang soft drink si Arlene.
Aturong pas ka di.
Oh.
Ngali. Ba.
So we will go to the main guba. This is just one part of guba. So this road that we're passing by, a very nice view out there, are full of bamboos. If you want to buy raw bamboo, this is one of the places you have to go in Guba. And that's how we do it. If I got 4 bamboos in my own place alone, and if it's not enough because you just harvested it, we go here. There's a lot of bamboo here. You can see going to the hills. There's a lot of bamboos. And mahogany. There's someone having a nursery of orchids. Look, like that shed there. You can buy the wild plants that they have. There's a dragon fruit plantation. Because like every Filipino house, they like their ornamental plants. And if you like, oh, that's a nice one, we'll buy some cutting. That's how we do it here. That's the miracle fruit. So many. There's a nice house here. And a nice house here. And loads of miracle fruit. There's some nice houses here I haven't seen before. But then again, like I said, you have to endure the narrow roads. And these are the congregated areas. Still a part of Guba. See that little kubo there got loads of plants, and you have to look through what are the rare ones, and then you can buy them if they sell, or they will tell you where you get it. So it's a very narrow road here. Okay. Look. Most of them are working for Food Panda. There's like 6 now I've seen on this road alone. We quickly stop here in Guba because they got a lot of shops here. Since there's a lot of people in Guba, they also have a lot of shops, so they have a wholesale shop here where people has to queue up. But you can find most things. They even have motorcycle shops here. I will feature some of them when I have time. And this is the problem here in Guba, is the very narrow road. And because it's well populated, actually they are, during election, they are the one that's most political candidates come here to woo them for their votes. So you can see here they got their office for Cebu City Cluster Clinic. So the north area of Cebu City is Adlawon, Agsungot, Apas, Bakayan, Banilad, Binalio, Budlaan, Campinokot, Guba, Kasambagan, Lusaran, Mabini, Mabolo, Paril, Pitos, Pulang Batu, San Jose, Sirao, Tabunan, Tagbao, Talamban, and Tap-Tap. That's on the north area of Cebu City. So there are clinics like this where they test you for the COVID-19. Because this is the wholesaler of soft drinks. So save us from going to Pitos for Arlene shop. And I've noticed they also improved the electric connections in here. So see what I mean when those vehicles will meet, each will go in both sides because of the narrow roads. And you also got a problem with motorbike just park anywhere. So this is what we have to put up with here in Guba. They need wider roads, and a lot of people now, especially the ones abroad, got vehicles. Look at that. Goes to a standstill waiting until both can go on the side. There you go, there you go. Oh, there's a motorbike there, he can't go through. There. So imagine that driving at night. That will be so hilarious, to find a way that you won't smack your vehicle on the side as well. So that's where Arlene bought a couple of case of soft drinks for the workers' snack next week.
I'm just checking out all the plants that she's bought. So some nice ones here. Some more. Now, what's happening is we're getting a little bit of a competition going. You know. Oh, got quite a few there. I like these bamboo ones. Oh, some orchids as well. Quite a few orchids there. What I always find strange is the amount of care that goes into looking after all those orchids. If they had only had some rare ones, wouldn't have taken any more care, and they end up with a far better product. But that's my little business head coming out, isn't it? Right, the wife is asking me to talk about my experiences about living in the Philippines, and yeah, I'll get round it. And but today I want to show you what a mess this area is here, right? And why I'm taking it over. Because I'm fed up with looking at all this. So I told her she's got to move all this across the road. This is now going to become a little bit of England. People are going to be proud to see it. And now, this area here this beam here, column I mean, we're going to curve round and build roughly to where some of these sacks are, and that's going to be the filter house. That's going to come spin round here and connect on. So this would be a raised area maximising the view of the city over there and the mountains over there. And now here I don't know if you can see it, that wall over there will, well, if you can imagine, it'll start about here, the wall, go down about 12 foot, right, and then join up with those columns over there. Be like 4 or 5 sections. Really nice strong wall, blocking all this off. And so when people, and we put a gate in the front of the curved wall to gain access to all this part, but I don't want to have access from it here, because otherwise everyone will be walking through to get to there. So that's one thing I want to block off. So we join onto this wall here, go right across, and then 12 foot out. So this whole area will be walled in. Now there's a method to me madness, and that'll be all around the mango tree, all here. It'll be all netted off, and that's where I'm going to put all my orchids. I always liked orchids, but I've had a few and the dogs would chew them up. She don't look after them, so I said, right, if you want competition, girl, let's go for it. So, and the pond, I've had to change the filter design because I'm struggling on some of the parts, but it's finally getting, I think it's starting to get finalised now. So all those critics saying, oh, you changed your mind too much, or was it flip-flop or something, I don't know. And let's see what happens when it's finished. So this is where the pond's going to go. There. Be a nice sized pond. And that gate there is designed to become a gate. Just cut those 3. It's already got the hinges on, and so that give me access as well. And then we obviously got the new gate that's got to go in here, that's currently being made, and railings at the back. So this entire area will be fenced off, gated off, so no one will have access to it other than me and the missus. She'll have a key obviously, but not, I don't want Deloy or anyone else here, because if I don't watch it I can get it all nice and next thing I know they've decided to store all their old empty Coke bottles here.